You know, from my front door to the police department's front door is exactly 100 miles. I know that because I would drive my motorcycle through the canyon to meet with Chief Strand, now I think your city manager, though I'll have trouble not calling him chief. Is this not a long overdue addition to East Kern? How many of you know that Ridgecrest alone is as larger than 12 other counties in California, of the 58 counties, if you were a standalone, and that every county gets all of the services? Because they're mandated, they're dedicated that way. And that as a county entity and as someone who's responsible for the county, as a guy who's on my free time driven through here to go to other places and backpack, I can tell you my kids were not that impressed with Badwater, Death Valley, the lowest point in the continental States. They thought it was the lowest thing for me to be showing them in the summer. But Ridgecrest is a beautiful city. Ridgecrest has beautiful air. Ridgecrest has one of the higher per capita PhDs in California outside of being on a university campus. And Ridgecrest has all of the needs of every county right here in this city. We were so pleased. I mean, I actually ran, you know, I'm a licensed therapist. I didn't go to Hogwarts to become a director. I was like, how do you become a director? Well, you become a director by not being a director. You become a director by first being a therapist, by first being a supervisor. And I cut my teeth on inpatient units. When I did inpatient work, you know where my office was? It wasn't at the front of the hospital. I put my office on the adolescent unit, and I had a second office on the adult unit. So if someone were screaming, I heard it. It overrode the paperwork I was working on. And I understand, I think I really understand how important it is not to put people in the back of a squad car someplace to travel over a mountain pass just to get services, especially in the most critical of times. So, this is not the only thing we're doing here. Network advocacy, we're going to build up your services on mental health and substance abuse services. You have my promise on that. We already have piloted, we're only one of 2 counties doing a virtual crisis response where law enforcement in the middle of the desert can actually have a HIPAA-compliant iPad and actually interface with someone over 100 miles away before they just throw them in a car. I don't mean throw them in a car. Law enforcement's one of our greatest partners. But before they have to, better safe than sorry, put them in a squad car to take them someplace. They could actually talk to one of our staff. We are one of only 2 counties that is even piloting that. We also are piloting something called, make sure I say it correctly, increase in REACH program services, which is a prevention services where we will dedicate staff that actually don't work for the hospital or in the CSU or even for CCS, but their job is to go out and get the people that you know are sick in the community. Funding is a crazy thing. Funding creates weird rules. And so one of the first things you have to do, and my job for you, is to look at the rules and then make things work for the people within the rules. And there's always a way to do that. No is not an option. One of my favorite t-shirts is there is no plan B, that you just keep moving forward, you just keep getting it done. Driving over here, we came in a bus with a group of our staff, but this is just one day in the life of a progression of services for this area. And I have just heartfelt appreciation for you as a community, for the supervisor, for Jim, and the hospital staff. And I'd like Robin to come up here for a second because she didn't know I was going to do this. But for something to really happen, there's usually somebody who really makes it happen. Somebody who's going back and forth. She runs the crisis division. The crisis division is arguably the largest and most intense division because of the type of services we get. And some of you know she's been driving over the mountain range frequently. She has a family, she has a job, and she has dedicated herself to doing this. If this was a private company, I'd be giving her a bonus. It's not, so I'm not. But I want to honor her in front of all of you that I believe that the one person, if this one person was missing in this project, we would not be here today. It's Robin Taylor. So I just want to thank you.